Hey guys, what's up? Love ya. Hope you're doing well. And I had sort of been thinking about this for a while in terms of where America's issues come from and chicken or the egg type questions. I realize it's very difficult to pinpoint, and I still don't know what the answer is. I thought it was one thing in terms of kind of people struggling, poor, having a hard time, and so on and so forth. Healthcare specifically, um, and benefits and things like this, laws for employment, and so on and so forth. I thought that what America needs to do first is fix the mental health issues, and because people who are mentally I want to say mentally ill, but not necessarily mentally ill, mentally struggling. Let's say there's issues going on there, deep seated fears that haven't gotten taken care of, depression, so on and so forth. If you have a population that's by and large depressed, people handle depression differently. Some people just try to work constantly to not think about things, but I think from what I've seen, most people go the other way and don't perform and try to just get by in life and not do anything, or don't really think about consequences, or I shouldn't say that. They don't really have much of a care for life. They're kind of hopeless, right? So I thought fix that first. But in thinking about it more, I think it's a little since it is a human psychology issue, and I know I took advanced psychology, and they basically said to us like we know almost nothing. We try to figure things out, but it's in terms of human psychology, it's not great. And you can say, yeah, well, in terms of the universe, we know virtually nothing. True, but specifically with psychology, because it's something that's all in here, right? We don't really see exactly what's going on. They have brain scanning now, which I think helps, and so on and so forth. But in terms of it's just completely unseen, in terms of exactly how the brain is functioning and what's going on, and these sort of things, and how certain things affect people and don't affect other people. I think we're making progress for sure all the time, but I think it says something for them to say in psychology class that we know almost nothing, or very, very little compared to what would be ideal for helping people. So anyway, to get to my point, these issues that plague a society, sociological and psychological, that I would always talk with Europeans about, like if we implemented these measures that you have in Europe, there's so many people here that aren't ready psychologically to handle that they would just take every single thing that they could get and contribute as little as they can get, because there already are a ton of people like that. And I think far more in America than, let's say, for instance, Norway or Switzerland or, Ireland. However, in thinking about it more and talking with people, I've kind of thought, why do we have that sort of mentality? And there's a few things that I wouldn't say. Excuse me, I'm trying to turn on the light for the computer. Anyway, there's a few things that I wouldn't say because they're sort of controversial that I would like to say, but maybe I'll address in the future. I just don't have I would want to talk about them in a gently. But I do think overall America has one of the biggest issues is that America has a winning culture. And I've talked about this in other videos, but Americans try to win, be the best at everything. In any case, even when there's not any sort of clear "you won" type of thing at the end of it, like social interactions, Americans are always trying to best each other and show that they're cooler or that they don't care as much as you. Like in whatever way, they'll try a bunch of different ways to basically be considered like the best. And I've talked with some people, like I had a Japanese friend who said that the Americans were nice to him when he studied here in America, but he never felt like he like kind of fit in the group. And so he would hang out with other international students. And it makes sense to me because it's exhausting. It's sort of like social gymnastics, trying to compete. And sometimes people just won't let you in if you're not like them, which is, I think, better because then you're not in this like weird mental gymnastics, psychological, social gymnastics thing. But a little bit off track. What I'm saying is that I think the reason for that is because America is a nation of immigrants, and often when immigrants come to a country, particularly America at its beginning, but still America today, there's little or no support. Now, weirdly, if you come to America as an illegal immigrant, the government might give you a ton of stuff, which is a whole nother really long video to talk about. But anyway, you generally have nothing or very little when you come as an immigrant, unless you happen to have really wealthy parents and be well connected, or whatever, wealthy family, wealthy friends, something. But now I suppose it would be easier to kind of stay in contact and maybe get some support. But prior to like, I don't know, 1950, where there was very little communication, it was hard to send things and so on and so forth, you're pretty much alone here. And so all the generations prior to that, they got to America and there's no support. It's just you make it or you die. There's no friends, no family, very little government support, if any. The government was so small, especially in, prior to like the 1900s, America wasn't a superpower. It was still, just growing. And if you went, especially out west in America, not only was there no support, there was like no one. It was just like open land. So you really had to figure out how to live or you died. There was no in between. So I think that created a lot of people and a culture of trying to get ahead, trying to work hard. And when you're in that sort of fear state, that you get much more fight or flight type thing, and then it's much easier to become greedy. It's much easier to say, I got to take everything I can get because there is no safety net. It's only me. So if, I have a bad farming season, if, people stop buying whatever I produce, if, whatever happens, if I get injured or something, nobody's coming to help. I just die. So I better have a lot of stuff saved up. I better take whatever I can get. And so I was talking about this, and I was thinking about this prior, but I brought up again. There's a user, H Park, commented, and I was talking about tipping and how. So apparently, tipping in America became a big thing because people, the owners wanted to not pay the waiters as much, and so they put the cost on the consumer more so. And I think this is just another great example of that sort of thing. Of what I'm saying is people taking whatever they can get to just stay alive, but then that creates sort of a snowball effect of you stay in that mode. It's hard to get out of that mode, and that creates a million other problems because you're taking it whatever you can get. That makes the other people around you, who if you would have just shared a little bit, they might not be so afraid, and that might not be scrounging to get by also. So then everybody around is just looking out for themselves. I see this a lot in, like, although it's not an immigrant country, but I saw it in China. It's interesting. Like there was a mentality, and I think it's for other reasons. Again, not an immigrant country, but I think the communist revolution might have something to do with it. I'm not sure, but people were basically always trying to get ahead, always trying to, like. I saw people trying to pass in like a single lane road. People always try to get in the elevator before you, the subway. It's not like, oh, please, you go first or anything like that. I never saw that once in China. And there were way more people. So it is, there's something to be said there. But even when I was in New York, people were, to some degree, had conscious and trying to help others around there, trying to not be like me first right away. But yeah, anyway, I won't talk about that for too much because I'm trying to focus on America. So a while ago, someone commented on one of my videos. A lot of my reaction videos were me talking about or hearing them say how much better healthcare is in certain European countries than America. And as I said before, kind of what I had thought was, we need to fix the mental health problem so people don't exploit these things like healthcare and like days off for work and things like that. Now you might think, oh, what? Someone would exploit healthcare? How could they do that? Believe me, I've seen it done. I've seen it done a lot in America, and I can go into detail. I'll just give one example. I know somebody who, I don't know their mind. I can't say exactly, but they claim to have fibromyalgia, and this person clearly has. I see them do stuff all the time. They live a completely normal life. They're doing everything normally. Physical activity and so on and so forth. So just if you don't know, fibromyalgia is like, I guess if anybody has it here, you can comment and correct me, but from my understanding, it's like just pain at the body where you're unable to do work, basically. So you can just, but there's no way to prove or disprove that someone has it. You just go by what they say. So anybody could say that they have it and get money from the government. This is what this person is doing. So, and people will bring their kids in and tell them to like act up and stuff so that they get money to pay for like medication for the child. And I could talk about again that for a while. And some people will just have. Europeans seem to not believe me when I say this, but this is true. Some people have children just because they know that they'll get money from the government for that. It's true. If you don't believe me, okay, but I can show you some videos, and I know some people. So, anyway, this clearly is like a mentality of sort of fight or flight, or just get whatever you can. And I think I will have to fix this first, but I think maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. As of now, I don't even have a stance. I don't know, so I'm not saying one way or another. I thought this before, but now I'm sort of in the middle ground of maybe it's better to just put like really strong social net things, and then it get fixed. My sort of counter thought to that, I don't want to say argument, but counter thought was that Brazil implemented some this program called Bolsa Familia, and it was supposed to help like poor families, and Brazil has basically, it, shockingly, their GDP has gone down by like half since I think that implementation. It's their economy is struggling extremely. Their currency is very much devalued. They're not doing well. So I think it didn't really help them, and I think it kind of goes to my point before of the mental health and the sociological issues of people trying to get whatever they can to get by. So what I'm saying is it didn't seem to help them. Now you can debate the details as to, there's other factors at play, and maybe it's not, they don't get enough help or so on and so forth. But in terms of real life scenarios, that's one example that I can think of that seems to have not worked out, where they tried to implement something similar to a European style support system, or I don't want to say European style, but some sort of support system. And yeah, I should say that I don't want to say certainly this is like clear evidence. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying from what I know about it. So maybe I just don't know about it enough. I was going to say something else too. I suppose, and Cuba is allegedly a communist country, and it seems to things not work for them. And I know that there's not like out and out communism in European countries, but there's it's sort of a hybrid system between they're open and capitalist, but they have these social nets, right? Varying degree of social nets for each country. And yeah, so I guess making this video, all I'm saying is I'm back to sort of, I don't want to say square one, but back to neutral in terms of I'm not sure which is the best thing to do first. And I would add, what I think now is maybe some societies, some people, no matter what you implement, it just won't get better. So maybe it's, I don't want to say that. I hope that's not true, but maybe it is. I don't know. So I'd like to hear your opinion. Let me know what I got totally wrong. And I try to go just looking on evidence and my analysis of the facts and things. So if you have if you have more information, better information, more clear analysis, please let me know. I'm trying to sort things out. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you would, again, like I said, comment and like and subscribe if you want. If not, that's fine. Have a good one. Take care.